3, 2, 1, action!
Am I starting?
Yep.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Hey, party people, looky here. This is Stephen West coming all the way from Virginia to hang out with my buddy and my pal Greg Ryder.
Welcome to the 5 Steps to a 7-Figure e-commerce business with USA-based dropshipping. We are going to really share with you some amazing insights, some amazing stuff for you to have a real business. But first I want to talk about something that happened just a few days ago. Somebody said to me, if you don't know how big and hot e-commerce is, you must be living under a rock. So we Googled it and we found there actually is somebody living under a rock.
There's a guy living under a rock, and he doesn't know anything about e-commerce. But when he gets done watching this video series, he'll be an e-commerce rock star, and he can afford to move out, move in with Greg.
So what we're going to do is we're going to, in this video series of training, we're going to cover everything you need to know from A to Z to build a 7-figure e-commerce business, because we think it's one of the hottest verticals there is on planet Earth, where you can build a real business and create a real exit. And this isn't one of those get-rich-quick business models, and it's definitely not a do-nothing fortune fantasy. It's all about giving you the education that you need to make the right decisions so you can build a business that you could sell someday, retire.
So the reason I think you ought to listen to Mr. Greg Ryder today is the fact that he has access to dozens of e-commerce rock stars, multiple 6 and 7 and 8-figure earners, one of which being me. That's how we met, because he owns a company that has over 1,000 e-commerce marketers who are using his software and his service. And one of those services is the fact that he also owns a U.S.-based pick, pack, and fulfillment and print-on-demand facility in Hannibal, Missouri, with over 165,000 square feet of space and facility just to do that. And also, prior to that, being the CEO and founder of Angel Investors Network since 1997. Cool thing is, his claim to fame was youngest man ever to own his own investment banking firm. And how cool is that to find out it was at age 21? That's pretty awesome. And he's also partners with the Kevin Harrington, the original shark on Shark Tank and the inventor of the infomercial. And recently, this relationship we have at e-commerce got me an event with Kevin Harrington, Greg, Brent Ullman, and we were also hanging out with Steve Forbes. And so, being at the event with Steve, Greg took the opportunity when hanging out with Mr. Forbes in his hotel room, got to interview Mr. Forbes and get his thoughts on video about what he thinks about e-commerce today and in the future.
Sitting here with Steve Forbes, and I asked him to give us one quote on e-commerce. We were talking yesterday at our breakout, and he said some good stuff. I want to get one quote from him on e-commerce.
E-commerce is the wave of the future because it's convenient for the consumer, and that's what commerce is all about, meeting the needs and wants of other people.
Thank you, Steve.
All right,
thank you, sir. All right, have a good day.
See you tonight. All right.
Okay, so I actually, at our facility in Hannibal, we printed on demand this guy. That's what we did. We printed on demand Stephen, because he's just an amazing guy. This guy's literally doing over $100,000 a month in his e-commerce business, and he's only been in e-commerce 2 years. He literally is an engineer, an auctioneer, a comedian. And some people even think of you as a trailer park supermodel. And I know you're that NASA crash test dummy thing, right? But yeah. It's funny, but he's got this nickname that he got when he was a comedian called the Def Jam Hee Haw. There's a whole story behind that.
Where Def Comedy Jam meets Hee Haw.
But
yes.
No, in all seriously, one of the things that we want to do is we want to put in front of you guys that are earning 7 figures a year and more that are just like you. He came out of the engineer world. He was an auctioneer. He's a comedian, and he probably didn't do very good at that because he wouldn't be here, right? You're not on TV or nothing.
Everybody don't draw a Jerry Seinfeld paycheck. That's what you got to supplement with e-commerce.
So here's the bottom line. In all seriously, 7-figure earner. The guy's on our team. He's amazing, and he knows how to build an e-commerce business. And if he can do it, you can figure it out too. So that's the whole point of what we're doing here. So what we want to do is we want to kind of lay a groundwork. With my investment banking background, I look at verticals. I look at industries and places where you got to go, and I am the director of my life, and I can choose where I want to go and what I want to do. And e-commerce is so hot that we believe this is one of the biggest booms, one of the biggest opportunities that has ever hit America or the world for that matter, and it's changing people's lives faster than anything I have ever seen. It's just super, super hot. So we started doing some digging and looking for some charts and some graphs, and I came up with this chart. In 2016, there was over $327 billion of e-commerce that happened online, which is just staggering amount in the United States of America alone, and that represented 8.2% of all retail transactions that happened online. And that's up from what you told me.
Yeah, and I had a comment, only 8.2. It was 6% in 2015, the stats I saw. So it's growing, and yet there's so many people on the internet, but so few that are actually purchasing. So as big as it is, with just 6 to 8% of transactions happening online, it's already disrupted traditional big box retail. Think of the opportunity going forward when that number starts to double and triple.
The numbers are staggering. You've heard about the Macy's laying off stores and all the big box retailers laying off stores. It's just happening. And we found this other stat. In 2016, there was $1.9 trillion done on worldwide e-commerce. And why is worldwide e-commerce even important? Because now we can market and drop ship worldwide. We're going to go over that in a second. But even more importantly, they're talking about that doubling to $4 trillion by the year 2020. That's only 3 years away, not even 3 years away, a little over 2 years away, and it's just fantastic, amazing. And I was blown away when I heard this. Cyber Monday last year hit an all-time record with $3.45 billion in one day. Can you imagine how many transactions that was in one single day? But that was even dwarfed recently because of something dear to your heart, is the whole Amazon.
So Cyber Monday is a fairly new thing. You remember when the big deal was Black Friday, when people were running over grandmas to try to get a deal on a TV, and then Cyber Monday became the day when everybody went online and it was the big e-commerce day. Well, now Amazon has invented Christmas in July. They've created a holiday, and just most recent Prime Day in this July of 2017, it eclipsed what they did the previous Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and we talked about 6% and 8%. How about 60% growth year over year? 60% more sales this Prime Day than last Prime Day. That's unreal.
It is unreal.
It's 3.5 million toys, and it ain't even Christmas. It's 52,000 kitchen items, 100,000 Amazon Launchpad items. It's just insane.
45,000 pairs of headphones in one day. So isn't that cool how they invented this day and this holiday in the middle of the summer, and boom, they're crushing it. Everyone's buying. You're probably buying. If you haven't bought, and you think back to years and years ago, I got in e-commerce a long time ago, and I actually bought one of the first malls online in 1997, and it's changed dramatically. And the reason it's changed dramatically, and the reason why it's really the biggest boom and the biggest opportunity for you and the average person out there, is because of what's called drop shipping. And drop shipping literally has changed the landscape. It's giving opportunity. It's equalizing the playing field. I mean, we were talking yesterday, and we're like, if we went to a mall, and I went to a mall, and you walked into a mall, and you saw, whether it's Nordstrom's or even a small boutique shop, all the employees, the inventory, all the things that goes to have that shop in that mall, right? What's it going to cost to get into business? What's it going to cost to rent that space? How many people are going to walk by that store a day? And now you can put something online, e-commerce store, shopping store online. You can learn how to drive traffic and marketing, and you can drive 10 times more people a week, a day than you could ever get in a mall in a whole year with drop shipping. And so let us share with you. So most of you probably know exactly what drop shipping is, but I'm going to let Steve explain a little bit in detail what drop shipping is, because it's very important that you understand e-commerce is growing like mad. But with drop shipping, how you can get in this for very little money.
And first, let me tell you what drop shipping isn't and why you should care. Is if you do a traditional model of dealing with suppliers, dealing with supply chain, trying to negotiate minimum order quantities and getting that from possibly outside of the country, and dealing with customs and freight forwarders and getting that in. And by the time you get all of that inventory in and manage the inventory and get a sale, you may be 100 days recouping your initial investment. That's a big deal. And look, I deal with big Fortune 500 companies from my engineering days, and when you're in heavy industry and major manufacturing, you have professionals in procurement, have degrees in supply chain that have to manage all that. You, as a small business owner, a mom and pop operation, don't want to have to manage crazy supply chain and all that. You want to be able to get to market as soon as possible. So what drop shipping isn't is all of that laying out capital and waiting to get your money. What drop shipping is being able to get through marketing and merchandising and leveraging technology, getting that product into a customer's hands as quickly as possible without you handling it. And you can run this business from anywhere in the world. So you get a sale, you get the money from the customer, and then you pay for the product to go to the customer. They pick, pack, and fulfillment. You never touch it. You can sit on the beach and run this business if you so choose. And then you're not laying out all the capital and have the heartache and headache of inventory management and fulfillment and employees and leases and electric bills and all the stuff that goes with having to manage a non-drop shipping business.
Well, that whole supply chain conversation, right? I actually did this, right? I bought stuff, I inventoried stuff. Lots of people have. Actually, within the last 5 years, there have been people that are teaching, go to China, find the stuff in China, order 1,000, 2,000 products, bring them over here, put them in your garage, put them in a pick, pack, fulfillment center, and try to market them. And there's people with garages filled with stuff. And we want to make sure you don't do that. It's not necessary in 2017. And when we're talking about this, we're talking about stuff that people buy every day. You can get, kitchen aprons, you can get hoodies, you can get t-shirts, you can get baby bibs, you can get baby onesies, you can get travel mugs, you can get coffee mugs, you can get leggings, you can get baby blankets, you can get canvas art, you can get wine glasses, you can get tank tops and pillows and pillowcase. Just about everything you can think of, you can find a drop shipper to drop ship that for you. So the bottom line is there's nothing you can't do. So now let's talk about some of the pros and cons and things you need to think about when you go to find your drop shipping and what you can do. So it can be everything. But let's talk about shipping costs and that kind of the times of delivery and things you need to be concerned with as you're delivering to your customer. Because you deal with this.
Yeah, so drop shipping. You literally can drop ship anything and everything. But the question is, should you? Certainly the shipping costs and times can be prohibitive. You can have, so if you're shipping large, bulky, slow to market things, it's probably not the best thing you want to do to get to market and get to profit as soon as possible. So you want to look for things that are easy to consume, easy for the customer to learn how to use, and easy to pick, pack, and fulfill. So you need less space for your drop shipper, and you less freight and weight. I mean, and freight is weight. That's the game. So we want stuff. So you can drop ship anything. We don't necessarily want to be dropping shipping everything.
So you think about that, and then you start to think about as you pick your niche, and we're going to go over that in the next video. But as you pick your niche and you start to figure out what you want to market, what you want to sell that brings happiness to you. And that's what this is all about. It's all about giving you some financial freedom and having something that you're happy about, that's fun, is you set up different vendors. And the pros and cons of that are the more vendors you have, now you've got to get different tracking numbers from different vendors. You have to coordinate that with your customer support. And it can be done, and people make a fortune doing it. We're going to tell you some stories coming up of guys making $700, $1 million a year doing this. But you got to track all this stuff. So we want to help give you the best information to educate you on how to do this so you can do it with the least amount of work and least amount of friction and that kind of stuff. And again, customer support is big. So the more vendors you have, let's say I get my coffee mugs over here, and I get my t-shirts over here, and I get my Bible covers over here, and I get my canvas art over here. Now I got 4 separate vendors, and I'm selling this stuff online. I'm having to coordinate with 4 different vendors to get the fulfillment done and track all that stuff, which it can be done. It is being done, and you can do that. But we want to show you how you can eliminate some of these problems as we get going in these future training of these videos and what we're doing with e-commerce. A couple other things, I did some research, and I kind of do this on a regular basis, and some people do this daily, but we want you to get an idea of where to find products and how to find products, and do some of your own homework and your own research. Like if you're serious about changing your life and creating an e-commerce business, then you need to do things like this. Like Google AliExpress most popular products. Just Google that, you'll get a link, you can go there and you can find out what the most popular products are from AliExpress. Or you could Google Amazon bestsellers, or you could Google eBay daily deals. So you start to Google these things, and you're going to start to see what other people are selling, what's trending. Google Trends is another good example. Just Google Trends, see what's trending. There's all kinds of sites like that. You could do top e-commerce sites, top sellers on Shopify or Amazon, all this kind of stuff, and start to find products and see what's out there. Just do a little bit of this to get yourself familiar with what's out there, the cost, the times of shipping, and that kind of stuff, so they have a little insight of what can be drop shipped and how it works and who they're working with.
And you'll love the price of this because it's free. It's just your time, and it's readily available on the internet to be able to do truly high-tech, game-changing market research right on the internet.
Well, we're not charging for that. We're not?
No, it's free. Google's not charging for that.
That's what we love about Google.
Google's still free.
So you think about all that kind of stuff, and you go say, okay, e-commerce is hot, it's great vertical, it's great business. You're not going to spend anything near you would to get a franchise. You can do it from your laptop. You can do it from your computer. Anywhere you have interconnection. Actually, we know guys that do it from their phone. Like literally, they just do it from their mobile device. They run their whole business from their mobile device. Really a fantastic model. And I want to kind of share with you a little bit what's possible, because I got my guy sitting right here. When he bought our software and came into our community, and I found out he was doing over $100,000 a month on Amazon, I was pretty impressed, right? I'm like, that's a lot of money. What is he doing? And making, what'd you tell me? What's your profit margins on your gross revenues?
Between 35 and 40%.
So 35 and 40% off his $100,000 a month, and you feel like you're going to be getting that upwards of $150,000 to $200,000 a month.
Oh, easily, yeah. We're there.
We're there.
Between
Okay,
150 to 200.
So since we talked to us a bit, like, yeah. So that's what's possible. Now again, how long have you been in e-commerce?
A couple of years.
Just a couple of years, right? So it's not like he jumped into it and started doing it overnight, but a couple of years. I'm telling you, as a former investment banker that did valuations, took companies public, and understands the valuation of businesses, you have a business that's doing that kind of revenue and those kind of profit margins, you can sell that business. You can make a lot of money, but it's also nice to have that kind of money being put away. Right. I want to tell you another story of a guy that, he's a friend of mine. He actually offices in my office. He actually rents office space from me. And in the late fourth quarter of 2015, he interned for us, and we started teaching him Facebook ads, because I said to him, one of the most valuable skills you could ever learn is how to give Facebook money and have them give you more money back. So he started learning that, and then he actually had to leave, and he went off on his own, and he started learning e-commerce and Facebook ads. And here's a screenshot of a story that was written about him, that in his first 8 months, how he became, you know, the internet $1 million first time e-commerce entrepreneur, made his fortune. He literally did $3 million in 2016, his first year in e-commerce, and he net over $700,000. His biggest problem at the end of the year was he had no idea what to do with that much money. He hadn't properly planned for his taxes and all that kind of stuff. But can you imagine, where else in America, what other business can you get into and in your very first year dive in, put your head down and go? And then you know what else he did? He did a lot of traveling, because he figured out how to hire VAs. Yeah. Virtual assistants, to help him with some of the menial task work. And him and his wife took their laptops and they traveled all over the world while they were selling stuff around the globe. Now he was kind of a unique thing. He didn't just sell the United States, he sold all over the world. So this is just kind of what's possible out there. And there's even another girl that bought our software program. I kind of like this, because that sounds very grandiose. I can't do that. That's the over the top, 700 grand, blah, 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 blah. You know, really? Okay, well, here's another one. So Tina, who lives here in Southern California, she got our software program in January 2017. And here's a little testimony from her that she's now doing over $10,000 a month. And she says, I love the support I get, and the training is awesome. I can't wait till June. And that's, we do these events. And that was in April. So from January to April, she got to where she was already doing $10,000 a month. And it's just, this is what's possible. And I also kind of way to lay the groundwork, because part of our 5 steps, and the 5th step that we're going to get to in the future videos, is building a brand and building something that you create for an exit. Because we don't want you to spend your hard time, your work, and build something that you can't sell. So when you get involved around me as an investment banker and a guy that likes to create wealth, is we have to build a business that we can sell. That's our goal. It's not to build a business that we shut down. It's not to build a business to, well, maybe you want to build a business to pass down to your kids, which a lot of people do, but I like to build businesses that you can sell and exit and put that cash away and retire. You have a cool story about that.
Yeah. So a guy I know personally very well. So we talked about the power of training. Nobody expects to go to bed, an average citizen, wake up the next day a dentist. Everybody knows that takes time to acquire those skills. Nor can a dentist go to bed and wake up a brain surgeon. Just so you've been successful at dentistry don't make you a brain surgeon either. So even if you have no experience in business, what would make you think you'd be successful at e-commerce tomorrow? Or if you've been successful in some other business. It's new. It's something you got to learn. So as a gentleman I met went access the same training I did to learn to do what I've done on Amazon. And here's his story. Lest you think he was born with money or born with some business or whatever, or you don't have enough time. He already had a big family, a lot of kids. His wife was expecting yet another kid. He had like 5 or 6 kids. He had a demanding corporate job. And in his spare time, I say spare time, how much spare time do you have? He built a business, e-commerce business on Amazon. And in a year, built that to the point that it was exceeding his income by leaps and bounds. He could walk away from his day job, his demanding corporate job, spend more time with his family. You follow him on Facebook, he's traveling all over the world with his family, living the dream. He sold that business for 7-figure exit, signed a non-compete, and is already crushing in another niche. Just started another e-commerce business in another niche and is already crushing it again. He'll already have that ready to make another 7-figure exit soon. I ask you, where else could a man with those demands on his time and no official training in e-commerce to get that training, the bootstrap training that we got, and go to work and begin to earn while you learn and build that type of lifestyle? I don't know where anywhere else you could do that and have that kind of story.
Now that's why I love the e-commerce field. It does make it easy. The barrier to entry is very low, and it's just fantastic from that standpoint. And again, is everyone going to go out there and do that? No, everyone's not going to do that. But it is possible. But you take that down a notch, right? And you say, like Tina, can you get to $10,000 a month? Thousands of people are doing $10,000 a month. They're replacing their income. They're making extra income, and they're building a future for them. And I'm teaching my children this. My 22-year-old daughter is getting excited. She's building an e-commerce site. Her boyfriend is working on an e-commerce site. But it really is critical. So one more couple things that we're going to talk about. We'll wrap up today's video. But training is critical, right? And I can promise you, or we can promise you, that you join and get involved in a community of like-minded people. You know, they say you're going to become, one of my favorite mentors, Charlie Tremendous Jones, he said, you're going to become the books you read and the people you hang around with. We're committed to our community. And you'll see as if we go through this training series why that is. You get in our community, we're committed to helping you succeed, because if you succeed in our community, we succeed. And here's a screenshot from one of our guys in our community who is trained by one of the gurus in our community. And you can see their income before coaching, what it was, and the income after coaching, where it went. And you go back to creating an exit. When you have a business that's doing $100,000 in a month, $150,000 a month, just like yours, you can sell that business and make a big payday, or you can just keep that cash flow coming, hire people to take your place and run what you're doing. Because that's the other thing that's cool about this, is nothing in this business, you can't hire somebody to replace you once that cash flow starts coming in, so you don't have to sit there and run the business on a day-to-day basis. So I hope you guys are following us along. We hope that you like e-commerce. You see this as an opportunity for you to start a real business with real physical products that you don't have to pay for, that you don't have to inventory. And we're going to wrap up today's video. And in our next video, we're going to do a couple things. The first thing we're going to do in our next video is we're going to share with you the top 7 niches that you should consider getting into with your e-commerce business. And these are the top 7 industries and niches that are proven. Billions of dollars have been done in each one of these niches. We're going to share with you why they're hot, why they're so hot, and we're going to kind of go a little bit deeper on these 7 niches. So you're going to want to make sure you get back for video 2 to see those 7 niches. And then what we're going to move into is what platforms you should use. I know you have a lot of opinion on the platforms. I have some opinion on the platforms, but you think about this and name off some of the platforms off the top of your head that you know that they could be
off
using.
the top of my head: Shopify, Amazon, Magento, Volusion, WooCommerce, WordPress. No, there's a whole bunch of them.
T-Rex,
yeah.
I mean 3D Card, Pro Stores, Zen Card, Sambuna, Drupal. So the point is that there's a lot of choices out there, and our goal is to give you real information so you can make the best decision on where you want to invest your time and money. What foundation do you want to build your future on? Right? Because that's what this is about. You're building a new business. You're going to get it, or maybe you know what, the other thing too is there's probably a lot of people watch this video that already have an e-commerce business and maybe they're stuck or they're struggling and they need a couple little tweaks. And we're going to go into that in one of the future videos. We're going to share some marketing advice that these 7-figure earners that are clients of ours that have shared this wisdom with me that you can't find anywhere else. I'm going to share with you how they increase their sales 200, 300, 400% on what they do. And it literally is the difference between going broke and making a fortune. Yeah. So that's coming in a future video as well. So the next video, we're going to talk about the 7 niches, and we're going to talk about what platform to use and why. And we're going to go over the pros and cons of each one of those. So I want to say thank you very much for joining us today. What we'd like you to do is underneath this video, there's some comment box. Let us know, what did you think of this content? what questions you have. We will answer your questions below this video. So go ahead and type in any question you have about e-commerce, what you felt we left out. Give us any kudos if you like this content. Let us know what you'd like to know about e-commerce. Let us know anything and everything. We'll make sure that we cover those on future videos. So until then, this is Greg Ryder saying I appreciate you. Thank you very much for watching this video today. And you got to do what I do. You got to wake up with an attitude of gratitude and tell somebody you love them, and I promise you'll have a better day.